Hello and welcome. And in this video, we'll be looking at the August 2023 paper 1 CDP. And I'll be going through these questions in English and with a bit of an explanation so that you not only know the correct answer, but you also know why this answer is correct. So let's dig in. So as you can see, this is the 2023 paper. And let's take the first question. Dysgraphia is a speech disorder? No. Locomotor disorder characterized by gross motor impairment? No. It's a neurological disorder characterized by trouble in forming letters. It is not a psychological disorder. It's not a locomotor or a movement disorder. Dysgraphia, dyscalculia, they are all neurological disorders. So option number 3 is correct. Let's move on. The approach to educating gifted children, which moves them through curriculum at an unusually rapid pace, this is known as acceleration. So let's understand what is differentiated instructions. So differentiated instruction is both for gifted and for slow children, which basically looks at the individual characteristics of the child and you differentiate the curriculum according to whatever is the issue the child faces. Enrichment is mainly for gifted children. When you give them something extra, you enrich the curriculum for them. Acceleration is when you move them through the curriculum at a very fast pace. Earlier, there used to be this concept of double promotions. So they just go through the entire year's curriculum for 1 month and then move on to the higher class. Double promotions don't exist anymore. And immersion is a way of teaching. This is mainly with languages where you learn everything in the target language and you immerse the child in the target language. Question number 3, teachers who are working towards inclusive classrooms, they should create curriculum adaptations. Yes. Incorporate diverse perspectives. Definitely. Examine their own implicit bias. Yes. See diversity as an obstacle. No. So which of the following are correct? Anything which doesn't have 4 will be correct. So option number 2 will be correct. Okay, because option number 4 is incorrect. Question 4. While dash agencies of socialization are predominantly important in infancy, there is only one option which has primary as there in the answer. So this will be correct because in infancy, primary agencies are the most important and later on it will be the secondary. So in CTET, remember, you only have one correct answer. So do not waste time reading the others. You've got your answer, move on. Moving on to Vygotsky, this paper has many questions from Vygotsky, around 4 questions from Vygotsky. So Vygotsky has really been given a lot of importance in this paper. So according to Vygotsky, and this is just talking about what he believes about. So the correct answer is language development facilitates cognitive development. Vygotsky gave a lot of importance to language, and according to him, language was the reason for cognition. So social factors influence language development, but not cognitive development. No, Vygotsky always spoke for social factors. Cognitive development facilitates language development. It was the other way around that he spoke about. And language development and cognitive development are independent of each other. This is also not what Vygotsky said. Let's move on to question number 6. At which level of Lawrence Kohlberg's moral reasoning do children typically believe that people should live up to the expectations of the society and behave in a good way? So this is the good boy, good girl level, and this falls at the conventional level. Question 7, read the following statements and choose the correct option. So the assertion is interaction with more knowledgeable others. So again, this is a Vygotsky question. Interaction with the more knowledgeable others, such as teachers and peers, can provide necessary support and guidance to help learners develop their understanding and skills. Very correct. What is the reason? Social interaction is a key component of learning and development. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question 8, what is the main goal of assessment for learning? So assessment for learning is when you assess the child to find out what are the gaps in learning. So do we want to identify students who are slow learners? Not really. Evaluate their performance and assign grades? No. So we want to provide feedback to students so that they can improve their learning. Compare student performance? No, it will not come. Okay. Question 9. At what age can children engage in wordplay like jokes? So this it's not a part of a theory, but mostly it has been seen that by 3 years, a child can understand simple jokes, they can understand riddles and puns. So the answer is 3 years. Carol Gilligan has critiqued Kohlberg's theory of moral development on what ground? So she had critiqued it on the feminist ground. Basically, she critiqued it saying that there were no women subjects in that case study. So this is a feminist perspective. Cognitive, genetic, and research, all this was not mentioned. Question 11. One of the main characteristics of pre-operational thought, according to Piaget, is dash, which refers to tendency to focus on one aspect rather than the other. So that is called centration. Centration were those where if you pour a liquid from a glass into a tall bottle, the child thinks that it has become bigger because there's more, because he sees more. So centration is being able to focus on only one aspect and not see the other. Question 12. In early childhood growth, dash and thinking is dash, while in middle childhood growth is this and thinking is this. So the answer to this is option 2. In early childhood, growth will be considered steady and thinking is somewhat egocentric. So thinking is quite egocentric in early childhood, whereas in middle childhood, the growth will slow down comparatively while the thinking becomes logical. So this is the only option that fits in, and the answer is therefore option number 2. Which of the following is a gross motor skill? So here they have given 4 skills. One is knitting, which requires a lot of movement of your fingers, cutting along the outlines of a circle on a paper. So that is also requiring a lot of fine motor skills. Cutting along the outline of a big rectangle, even that is a fine motor skill. Comparatively, swimming would be a gross motor skill because you're using bigger muscles. Question number 14. Physical growth and development follow the dash and dash principles. So here we are moving from cephalocaudal and proximodistal. The options would have been either 2 or 3, but in 3 they have given proximodistal as top down and cephalocaudal as inner to out. So the correct option is 2. Remember, cephalocaudal is top down and proximodistal is inside to outside. So physical growth and development follows the cephalocaudal and proximodistal principles. Integration and differentiation, they are not principles of development. According to Howard Gardner, a philosopher has this type of intelligence and a sculptor has more of that type of intelligence. So, a philosopher will have an intrapersonal intelligence. He can look deep into himself and understand himself, while a sculptor would require spatial or space based intelligence. Question number 16. Experiential learning stresses on. So, it will stress on the importance of critical reflection. It does not talk about the teacher controlling the student, nor does it talk about reinforcement. Remember, reinforcement in learning, there is punishments and rewards. That's behavioral philosophy. And learning is a product rather than a process. So experiential learning focuses on learning as a process and not a product. So the correct answer would be experiential learning stresses on the importance of critical reflection. Question 17. Which of the following is an effective method to enhance problem solving skills in children? So, what would be effective? Discouraging independent thinking? No, we don't want to do that. Encouraging them to avoid difficult problems? No, we should not encourage them to avoid it. Providing them with ready made answers? No, that is not a good answer. So, giving them opportunities to brainstorm and make intuitive guesses, that would be a correct answer. Another assertion and reason based question: teachers should create a meaningful environment which seeks active participation and engagement of all children. So, this is true. All children are intrinsically motivated to learn and are capable of learning. This is also true. So, both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 19, which of the following processes does not contribute to the course of learning? So whenever you see this word decontextualization, this will always be something which is not required. Decontextualization means learning out of context. So learning should never be out of context. It should always be in the context of the child's real life. Which of the following is an example of a question that requires students to reflect on their own thinking? What is the relationship between nouns and verbs in a sentence? That does not require reflection on his own thinking. It's just a understanding based question. What is the definition of verb? This is a recall based question. How do you change a verb to the present tense? This is a process based question. The child should know how to do this. But if you ask a question, how has your thinking about the use of verb changed since the beginning of this class? The child will have to think about his own thinking, and that is reflective thinking, and hence that becomes the answer. Question 21, which of the following is an example of the internal attribution for failure? So, looking at something which he has attributed internally. I received a low grade because the teacher is a tough grader, so that is external. I failed because I didn't study enough. So, yes, I did not study enough. This is internal. In an exam, you would tick this and move on. But just let's go through the other two options. I didn't get good marks because the teacher was biased, again external. I failed because my friends would distract me, again external. Question 22, again assertion and reason. At a very early age, children in most cultures across the world choose dolls as toys while boys prefer to play with cars. So this is true. Why? Because children organize information about what is considered appropriate for a boy and girl on the basis of what a particular culture expects. So this is both A and R are true. It is the society which tells what you should do, and most girls and boys accept that a girl has to play with a toy and a boy has to play with a car. Question 23, as per Vygotsky. So this is the third question from Vygotsky. The next question is also Vygotsky. So 4 questions from Vygotsky. So as per Vygotsky, Dash plays a significant role in the development of conceptual abilities among children. So he talks about peer collaborations, not rewards, not social isolation. In fact, he talks about socialization and not standardized curriculum. Question 24 from Vygotsky again. According to Vygotsky, inner speech. What is inner speech? It is a way for children to communicate with an imaginary friend. No, it is a sign of cognitive it is a sign of cognitive immaturity. No, it is a sign of developmental delay. No. So it is a way for children to regularize or regulate their own thinking. So that is what inner speech is when the child is talking to himself or herself. Question 25. 4-year-old Aparna says that a button is alive because it helps her to tie her shirt together. According to Piaget, what kind of thinking is this? So, this is called animistic thinking. Animistic thinking is the child presuming that non living things or even animals, they have feelings just like humans and they can talk. So, all your Disney movies and all, those are all expressions of animistic thinking. Which of the following is a typical characteristic of students having autism? Superior ability of differentiating? No. Advanced socio emotional reciprocity? No. Frequent and repetitive recurring behavior? So, this will be the correct answer. And higher level of communication level? No. So, answer is option number 3. Question 27, another assertion and reason. So, this is the fourth assertion and reason question. To facilitate critical thinking among learners, teachers should expose them to diverse situations and different perspectives. Yes, absolutely. Students learn and enrich their abilities to think critically and creatively as they engage in conversations across differences. So, definitely both are correct, both A and R true, and R is the correct explanation of A, because as children talk with people with different cultures, perspectives, and situations, they will be able to think more critically. The primary goal of learning should be, so memorization, no. Excellent at rote rehearsals, so no rote learning. Competition, no. So development of critical thinking will be a primary goal of learning. Question 29. Children learn more effectively if a concept proceeds from. So this question is from your maxims, and the only correct one which is given is from general to specific. We move from concrete to abstract, not abstract to concrete. We move from simple to complex, and we move from empirical to rational. So the correct answer is generic to specific. The final question, variability in learning styles of students should be valued and seen as a reflection of human diversity. This seems to be the correct answer. Should be ignored, no. Should not be taken into consideration, should be seen as a barrier, no. So variability in learning styles should be valued and seen as reflection of human diversity. So with this, we come to the end of 30 questions. In case this was helpful, do like the video and subscribe to my channel. Follow me for your CTET preparation.